car. I'm in a Volkswagen. Pretty sure it's a 2025 Volkswagen. My yeah, the damages that were done to my car all fixed up. That actually, I kind of want a new car. I don't know why. I mean, everyone wants a new car, but I've now had my car for I've had my car for about 7 years. This is my seventh year that I've had my car. In that time span, I have had about 5 accidents with that car. One of the accidents I was at fault for, and four of the accidents the other party was at fault for. And I feel like I'm ready to just get rid of that car, get another one. It might not be new car season for me money wise, so I'm probably gonna have to continue to wait on that. But I just wish that I could get rid of my car, get myself a new one. Because how was the old one? I will say this Honda Civic that I've had is the longest one that I've ever had. I had a Volkswagen actually. That was my only other car. I've only had two cars. My Volkswagen, I got it in 2000 and shoot 2011, I think. 2011, yeah. I got my Volkswagen in 2011, and in 2000 and I want to say I was in New York already at that time, so it might have been 2012. Yeah, I got the car in 2011. 2012, I totaled it. So I didn't have a car for like 6 years. I had no car, but I live in New York, so I mean, I wished that I had a car, but there was a couple issues that happened. I was stupid enough to drive around without insurance. So then I was driving around without insurance, and then my dad told me, "You can't drive around without insurance. This is New York." And then I was just like, I don't have a job. I didn't have a job at the time, so not having money for insurance, um, I didn't have the money for insurance because I just wasn't working. So he said, "Don't worry, I'm gonna put you under my insurance." So me thinking that I was fully covered under his insurance, and I did not look into what he said, I just assumed that I was fully covered. And then when I crashed the car, I call up Geico. I tell them about the accident, and they're like, "We have good news. If you hit any property, like a guardrail or something, or you broke anything, we cover that damage. You don't owe anything for that. And also, if you have bodily injuries up to $50,000, we cover that." And then I was like, "But what about the car?" They were like, "Oh, you just have the basic coverage, so we don't cover the damage to the car." I was like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" So now I had a car that the airbags had come out, it was totaled and everything, and that was that. And the worst part about it was the car was financed, so I had the car was not even paid off, so I wasn't even getting a check for the car, but I still had to continue to pay for the car for months. It took me months to continue to pay off the car. I was paying off the car for about 3 years after totaling it. So from there, then I was kind of at a clean slate. I paid off the car, and then I went to work. I was at work, and then I started saving towards the car. And then I remember I got my Honda Civic, and I had to say, despite the fact that I've had issues with other drivers, I mean, this is just New York. It's just typical New York stuff. But the car itself, I remember when I had the Volkswagen Jetta, I used to have to pay so much money. It was like a Jetta maintenance for a Jetta is like having a BMW. Pay so much for maintenance because I remember when I was getting my oil change, they were like, "Oh, labor is 2 times as long because you have a Jetta, and the way everything is positioned, we have to take out all these parts to be able to do the oil change." And then it had like four sensors. It had like the oxygen sensor. There was another sensor. Exhaust. What was it? Exhaust heat sensor. I remember I asked somebody like, what is that? And he was like, "Oh, it's a sensor for if the exhaust pipe overheats." And I'm like, when does that happen? Like, what are the chances of the exhaust pipe overheating? And he was like, "You're the one who bought the Jetta. That's your problem." Like, they just put parts in there just to make sure that they get money. And then with my Civic, if anything ever happens, whether that's a repair that I need or whether it's something that I need to get fixed for an inspection, they can put generic parts in there. When it comes to having a German car like that, where am I going? Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. So what I was saying is when it comes to having I think I was saying when it comes to having a German car, it means that whenever you come there and you need something, they're like, we have to order the parts, and it costs extra to order the parts, and then the labor costs extra, and all that stuff. So anything that I've had with my Honda, I don't even have to go to a Honda dealership. I don't have the whole Honda Care. Like, I mean, those things are kind of scammy. Like, I feel like, not scammy, but in a sense of like, it's nice to be able to go to one place and be like, okay, I need my oil change, I need my tires changed, I need my maintenance package and all that stuff. But then it's like you're paying big monthly fees for the most part to get that done. And those things that you need from the car, those maintenance things are like once in a while things. So I'm totally cool with having my guy that independently does my oil changes. That's not like a Honda Civic oil change. I don't even like the whole thing of like, I don't even like the whole thing of like I'm dropping off the car for the day or like for hours. You have my car for like 6 hours just to do an oil change. It does not take that long. And then you come back, and then you come back to get the car, and they're like, "Oh, did you know that your air filter needs changing and your brakes are bad and this and that?" It's like, I'm already actually paying you a monthly fee or however much you pay for those things to take care of all those things for me um, either for free or at a steeply discounted rate. So why are you trying to talk to me like an average used car salesman? Hi, Marshall, Vicky, and Merk. Hi, Ma. So yeah, I'm here in this Jetta. I'm here in my uncomfortable rental car, but it's a nice rental car despite being uncomfortable. I'm just not a big changes person. Um, but I'm thankful that I have this part of the process, is being taken care of, which is my car is going to be fixed and I have a car to drive in the meantime. Those are the two big things, because despite the fact that I mentioned that I spent 6 years here without having a car, 5 or 6 years from the other accident without having a car, nowadays I do so much in the car that it would be an extreme detriment to my life. Like, for an example, to get to work from where I am, it's not terribly far, but it's like 3 buses that I would have to take. 3 buses, and it takes me about half an hour to drive to work. The buses, it would probably take me about an hour and a half. And an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back, that's 3 hours added to my day. I now have picked up a part-time job also that I do on the side. And in that part-time job, I have to drive out to where I'm going, and then I have to drive back home from there, and that's more time. Bus can't really get me to places that I need to go in a timely fashion. I think that my life at the time when I didn't have the car was a lot less active. Matter of fact, I don't think I know, because it was during the time when my agoraphobia was at its worst. So it also didn't really bother me that much that I couldn't drive, because I couldn't drive anyways. I had to work my way back up to driving through therapy. It was tough, and it was a long process, but now, as you can see, I'm in the car. I do have some issues in the car sometimes. Like, I want to say 10% of the time, I have really bad anxiety in the car, in which case I would just pull over and get out of the car and, try to take deep breaths until I can continue. But most of the time, that doesn't happen. And if it's going to happen, it happens in areas that are really high traffic, of course. Of course, when I'm on the quiet road where I have so many places to just pull over my car. Because one time I was driving in New Jersey. Actually, it was when I say one time, that makes it sound like it was a long time ago. 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago. No, not 3 weeks ago. A month and some change ago, when I was driving to Washington, D.C., I started to experience panic attacks on the highway. So it's a highway. The exit was nowhere near me, so I had to pull over my car on the shoulder. And I pulled over on the shoulder, and then after like 10 minutes of sitting there, a police car pulled over on the shoulder, and I was like, oh, great. Just what a person that has really crippling, debilitating anxiety needs: a police officer to pull over. Or he didn't pull me over, but he just pulled over to see what was going on with me. And he came over and he walked over to the car and he said, "Can I help you?" I was like, just having a panic attack. That I just want to get to an exit so I can pull over somewhere and get out of the car. Thank you, Ma. Have you ever had cheer wine? Shout out to my dogs. I don't know what that is, but thank you for the super chat. I'm trying to pin it, but it doesn't look like it's letting me. Anyways, how come it's not showing me the other comments? I guess it's because of this whole live vertical thing that you do from your phone. Yeah. But anyways, as I was saying, he was like, so I said I was just trying to get off the highway or whatever. So he said, okay, so the next exit he tells me is a half a mile away. And he was like, if you want, I can drive behind you and you can go slow. And then once you get to the exit, I'll keep going and you can get off on the exit. So he was actually nice enough to do that because I thought that he was gonna do something else or be like, you gotta just leave the car there, get it towed, or you gotta move. I feel like if it was a New York police officer, it would have been different. But over there, the police officer was nice. So he drove behind me for like half a mile, and I was driving 30, 40 miles an hour. And then I got off on the exit, and then I pulled over, I think it's some gas station or something, and stayed there for like 30, 40 minutes until the anxiety subsided. And then I got back in the car and made it the rest of the way home. I was okay. You live close to NC. You have what? I don't know what you. Oh, I guess that's a thing that's closer to the south. I don't know. I never heard of it. I mean, I've been to NC like at least about what, 6 times. Let me see. The first time I was in NC, 2014. Was it 2014? No, it was 2012. 2012. I went there 2012, 13, 14, 15. I don't think I went in 16. I went twice in 2017. My last time there was 2020. Not that that means I know everything in the area, but I have been there 7 times. I used to go there every year because almost every year from 2012 through 2020 because my friends lived there. They still live there, but they're in the process of moving, and yeah, there's more to it than that, but I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them since 2020. Yeah. Last time I saw them was 2020. Sundrop. I do know of Sundrop, actually. We need a movie night. That'd be cool. Ed's the one who you talk to for that, because my technical skills are not there, unfortunately. But a movie night would be cool. I love Mean Girls. I could watch that a bunch of times. I've mentioned this before, but when I was doing counseling before, individual counseling, I would get on Saturdays, all the parents would bring all their teenage boys and teenage girls. When I got the teenage girls, I didn't know really what to say to them about their issues because it was usually like dating issues or not being amongst the popular crowd or those kind of things. And this one girl, I used this Mean Girls analogy because she was talking about this class trip that she had taken, and she was like talking about how on the trip these girls weren't talking to her. These popular girls weren't talking to her, and she wanted to be part of the popular clique. And she said that they would talk and say nasty things to each other. I mean, they would say nasty things about other people to each other. And then I just pulled out this Mean Girls analogy, and she was like, "That is so genius." And when I say, like, 90% of the girls that I had as clients that were between the ages of like 13 and 17, I used that same analogy for all of them, and there was only one or two of them ever that said that that did not resonate with them. Anyways, said this was going to be a short one. It is. I have some things to do, and then I'm still technically working, actually. I have some things to do, and then I'm going to watch the end of the Survivor episode. I'm going to watch a couple other things that I want to watch, and then I'm going to go to bed pretty early, I think, because tomorrow I have a fitness competition,